I'm Tim Minear
I'm Jeffrey Bell,
of TV's Angel,
and we're here to talk about this episode, Billy.
which was a follow-up to Jeff Bell's first episode, That Vision Thing.
In that episode, Angel had to rescue a horrible person from a hell dimension in order to stop Cordelia from looking like that.
All we really knew is that we wanted episode 6 to be scary. And initially, I think David Fury was going to write it. And then I got to thinking, well, why don't I? And then I got to thinking, I don't really want to. And then I got to thinking, Jeff Bell.
And so we wrote it together.
We did. We broke it. When did we break? We broke it at Paramount while I was shooting something. I was prepping something. What was I doing?
You were shooting something.
Well, if this was episode 6...
What was the first? Oh, you were shooting That Old Gang of Mine?
Oh, God.
No?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
So he was over for that.
Yeah, what a nightmare. Let's not revisit that. So Billy, I think widely acclaimed and much loathed episode.
Yeah, people seem to either love it or hate it, and sort of both at the same time, which is really interesting.
And oddly, they never sort of hate it for the same reasons. Either it's accused of being anti-woman or it's accused of being anti-man.
Which makes me think it was a very successful episode.
Me too, because pretty much I just hate everybody.
Oh yeah, see, and I love everybody, which is I think why we are together on this.
It's a yin and a yang.
Am I yin or yang?
I don't know.
Okay. Teaching Cordelia to fight, we thought part of the episode, because it deals so much with a guy who hates and causes people to hate women, to make sure that in this episode that all the women pretty much save themselves. And Angel is there and helps, but each of the female characters is responsible for her own salvation.
Which I think is a good thing. And beautifully shot by David Grossman. By the way.
Really did a really great job. Took what we had, which was pretty good, and made it really great.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say he didn't screw the pooch like they usually do.
Wow.
No, he really did a great job.
You don't want to end up.
This scene coming up here was actually much more violent in the script and in the first cut.
Yeah, we showed it, and it was clear that we didn't need to show a lot of the violence that we had.
No, we wanted to.
No trouble.
It was the censor. It was no, please, no. You're remembering this completely wrong.
Okay.
In fact, we looked at it and we thought it was really cool and really bitchin' and quite shocking and violent. And now he just tries to strangle her, which is kind of lame. But before he was just pummeling her.
And there was blood everywhere. It was pretty nasty.
It was great. I mean, great in an artistic, not exploitative
Nice boy.
way.
Yeah, Billy, he's great.
You think? Who told you could think? Now, why don't you try
One of the lines that we heard about.
Oh, here's the thing. Oh, I love that. Look, I mean, I hate that.
Oh, and here comes the rockin' theme song, which
you're not hearing because you're listening to us natter.
But hum along in your head because it's a good theme song.
Yeah, and there was a shot there from Vision Thing. These are the new season 3 opening titles, and I think we're all very proud of them. Jeff?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Well, anyway, we wanted to do something scary, and what we talked about was since Billy had this power where he could lay his hand on men and infect them with this, what we call primordial misogyny. In fact, those two very words are what have caused all this...
a lot of problems.
Yeah, a lot of problems. But he could lay his demon power onto men and make them violent against women. Whether or not he's doing it to them or accessing some kind of primordial misogyny is left for the viewer to decide.
It's inspiring to see you like this. The initiative.
I was going somewhere with this.
Yeah, you're going that the initial instinct was wouldn't it be horrible if somebody as strong and powerful as Angel had this instinct?
Yes. and we were having dinner with Joss and David, and the suggestion came up, what if it wasn't Angel, but in fact it was Wesley, which seemed far more interesting.
Yeah. It was one of the things we've sort of taken Wesley through a bit of a character arc this season, and this was one of the first times he really got to play something dark. And, he was really willing to go to some, here comes the best part of the show, get ready, here it comes, Gary. Oh, it's taking too long. Where is it?
Boy, it's just not there at all.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, that's
there
really
it is.
impressive.
And,
Co-producer.
It was, well,
No, that's important. And it comes very early, which I think is, good.
back half of the season got bumped
For those
a
of you
little
who are switching channels after that, you've seen Jeff's name. But you're really going to have to wait for mine because it comes much later.
But this was the first time Wesley really got to do something quite that dark, and as you'll see over the rest of the season, we take him there more and more, and did a great job. He was really willing to sort of do some ugly things and say some pretty horrible things in this episode.
Well, willing. I mean, we wrote it. He sort of has to.
Oh, because he's an actor?
He's an actor. He just sort of does what we tell him. I don't know if you've noticed that. I don't mean to put words in his mouth. Oh, wait.
What are the odds of any of us?
yeah.
And the other thing we're setting up here is
Deal with the
Wesley's interest in Fred, and how kind and loving and sweet he is compared to how he'll be treating her.
And then we're going to rip their realities asunder. And any kind of hope for a happy future will be trampled under the boot of the writer.
Go right
Z.
up to her and
And I'm a zzz now.
No, I'm a Z.
Okay, we're a pair of zzz. Okay, so Cordelia's still having her. Oh, I'm just narrating what you're seeing. Big bad vision thing.
Yeah, I explained to Jeff how my last commentary, which I happened to listen to recently, was just commentary for the blind. I was basically describing what you're already seeing on screen. Really lame. Also, is my voice deep enough now? Because it sounded very high-pitched before.
Yes, I think we're all using our...
Good, let's use our speaking voices.
Yes, our speaking voices.
130,000 people.
So here's, Cordy has a vision, and she realizes that, oh my God, I'm describing the action again. Stop me. Stop me.
Stop yourself.
Okay. Oh, look.
Hey, that's us.
Nice.
The big cheese goes first, of course, although alphabetical could have been better.
Why would they show this to me now?
So we have interesting things to say that we remember. David Grossman, huge. Love David Grossman. Not like huge, as in, actually rather a small man in many ways.
The other thing that happens in this episode is everyone saw Billy but Cordelia. So in the vision, she wouldn't recognize him doing these horrible things because she has no idea that he's A, doing the bad things, or B, that's who Angel rescued in the previous episode.
Here's an interesting production thing. We had actually written a scene where Angel, Wesley, and Gunn go to a diner and get these photographs from an informant. The scene was written, and the informant had, I think, a third hand. And there's kind of a cool moment where Gunn appeared in the booth behind Wesley and Angel and gets to draw on this, draws down with a gun or something. Or,
yeah, because the guy says 3 hands better than
yeah,
two.
3 hands better than 2, and pulls a gun, and then Jay turns around with a crossbow or something and says, actually 6 hands better. And we cut that because too expensive, a whole nother set, a whole nother character. So that's why Wesley comes in and just explains that off camera he had basically purchased these photos from a tabloid photographer or somebody who would have stolen it from official archives to plaster in the tabloids. Boy, that's wordy.
It is, but we're hoping to bring the informant back at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
This person,
Or not
this
back
person who's
so
never
much
been
as-
here, we're hoping to bring them back.
Right, exactly. That's my thought. And this is where Cordelia realizes that, in fact, the reason these horrible things are happening and the reason she saw a vision that was a post-vision, too late because the woman had already died, was because she feels that she is responsible for the fact that this guy's on the loose since Angel pulled him out of hell in order to save her. And there was actually some more controversy that I saw on the internet, which is a place one should never go.
I don't go there.
No good can come from it. And people were upset because Angel says, it's not your fault, and it's not mine either. And people were feeling that Angel was not taking responsibility, and that in fact it was his fault.
How do you feel about that, Tim?
I think that's wrong.
Where do you feel that, Tim?
Oh, please.
Well, if he's somehow
It's, he did what he had to do.
I think that's
And now he's going to do what he has to do again.
which is what Angel does every week, pretty
Right,
much.
exactly.
Save me.
And then he says, "You do that again, I'll kill you."
Yeah, it's Angel of the empty threat. I mean, every week we should do a previously on that is just Angel saying, "One more time and I'll kill you. You come to me through my people again, I'll kill you. You're dead. You took my son." He never kills anybody. This guy could not kill
Well, he could, but
He could, but he doesn't. It's just empty threats. It means that he's the vampire that cried wolf. Am I wrong? Oh, I love this scene.
Yeah. Beautifully shot.
Beautifully shot scene.
Except for the part where
And this scene, actually, written by none other than Joss Whedon, who wrote 2 scenes in this episode.
Yeah, as a favor.
As a favor. Well, actually, it wasn't a favor. I was doing him a favor.
Oh.
He wanted me to come to his house on Sunday and read Shakespeare,
see the other guy.
which is a thing. And I said I can't because I have to. I got to write this
Thing.
half this episode. And he said I'll take 2 scenes, and I said I know the exact scenes that you can write. And he wrote this scene and the upcoming Lila Cordelia scene, which has sparked all the controversy, by the way.
Yeah, so blame Joss.
It's all Joss.
It's, he's
We don't feel that men are
he's the
innately
big
evil.
brain. We can't question him. It's
Of ours. The lot
primordial misogyny.
This is so well shot.
Bighorn Gunner beast you can just chop into
Why are you
meatloaf.
protecting
I adore this.
I'm sorry, but this deep chivalric
And they really went. You don't usually see people, your stars that beat up on television. They usually have like a little nick and a bruise.
Something that's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, and she got the snot kicked out of her.
Okay, so there was another thing here. I can't remember. Oh, the location here actually is a home that belongs to Richard Riordan.
But before that belonged to.
Don't know.
Oh, like some big rap star.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like
Richard Riordan being the former mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah, but before that it was like Dr. Dre or somebody like that. So I love sort of the rap star Republican mayor.
I love that.
Security guards up. Something.
Here's a great moment. I love this. Mike Massa, our stunt coordinator, and also Angel Double, jumping over that gate, which I think is such a great moment.
It is, and it's always a real fine line we try and walk between. Angel's not Superman and can't fly, so we always try and make him jump and have to grab something so that it's not, because that's believable.
Yeah. And here was an interesting. I have nothing. I have nothing interesting to say about this.
Well, let them watch because it's beautifully shot.
It's beautifully photographed.
We can just be here quiet while Angel watches.
I really, really like this actor. What's his name? Justin?
Justin.
Yeah, he's good. And this was also an ideal location.
One of the things so many actors do when they're playing a bad guy is they come and they play a bad guy. They play evil rather than just sort of playing a normal guy.
The normal guy of it makes it so creepy.
Yeah.
It surprised me that I can just walk right in here.
Here's where Angel figures out his hunch is correct because he can just walk right in that this character must not be completely human.
Yeah, it was something we talked about a lot was how does he get his power? And I think in our backstory was the senator, his father, his uncle, whoever.
Right. His father, I think.
Had a relationship with a demon, and the way we talked about it initially was he was actually a good demon, and his badness comes from the human
Basically,
father.
he had raped a demon.
Yeah.
I mean, the old saw about, she was, raped by the devil, Rosemary's Baby. And we thought it would be interesting if actually the evil partner in that relationship was the human. And but this is just a thing. This is not in the episode.
Nope, this is not even in the script.
No, it's not in the script.
But here it is on the commentary.
That's the kind of thing a commentary is for.
It's our secret.
So that
there's
we
the first touch. There's
can
the
tell
first
you.
touch. And we talked about, what does this look like? Is it an icy touch? Does it glow? It will ended up glowing.
And it sort of sinks into into
Yeah.
the flesh, which I liked.
But one of the things that's fun about a show like this is what do these special effects look like? What does it look like when somebody puts some? I'm going to shut up now.
We knew that it would be interesting if Angel showed up and the cop showed up and it looked like Angel was going to get arrested for breaking and entering. And in fact, this kid had set up himself to be arrested in order to get off the property because the family was going to such lengths to keep him on the property. These 2 actors were really good when they came in to read.
What's your problem?
I'll tell you what my problem
You going to leave it at that?
Yeah,
Great.
Don't listen.
No, I think this is a creepy scene.
it is a creepy scene.
I
Very
love
well
the
shot.
smile. Love the smile, just a little bit.
It's too bad we killed him off.
Nobody ever dies on Angel.
Kind of an interesting character.
My contact at the city mall.
Top of Act 2 exposition. Things have happened off camera. Wesley has enough information to get us to the next plot point.
I mean, even if he did it.
Angel's going to go and mess with Lila because he feels like
Fred has a police scanner that we've never seen before because we have to pick up that the police car is wrecked.
that's not true. In season 1, Somnambulist, Wesley stole a police scanner. Angel stole a police scanner out of a patrol car in the garage of the LAPD.
And is it the same one?
It is the same one.
Really gonna be a
Cool.
problem.
So, in fact, you are wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have seen it. you know,
Get there before
in
Lila
season
does?
1 of TV's Angel. It probably, I mean, you know, frankly, it probably got blown up when Angel's office got blown up, but maybe Wesley was keeping it at home.
He's dangerous. What if he lays his wind?
I'm sure there's something interesting to say here. Just, again, I love the way that this was blocked, and I love David Grossman's selection of shots. And might I say, Mark Goldman's editing. He's really a great editor. And he cut this.
Yep.
There was a giant crane shot there that got cut out because it was
we love
boring.
the shot, but it was.
It's a beautiful shot, but it's like nothing's happening.
Show was long.
One of them attacked his partner. She was
We actually considered having a scene where, with Gunn
So maybe she can tell us something.
at a hospital, you know, if we felt like we needed to cut away to him. But at the end of the day, we felt like it was better if, you know, he's gone off on this mission and we just forget about him so that when he appears later, I think in Act 3,
Yeah.
it's a surprise and, you know, we haven't been thinking about him the whole time, which I think is pretty effective. Here's Angel smelling blood all over the place.
Yeah, here's
again.
another example of us sort of cheating his power, in that we.
I don't think it's a cheat. Is
Sure,
it?
he's right here, and then once he smells the blood.
Yeah, he's tracking the blood. I mean,
No, it's not this. It's the dash off that I'm talking about.
Oh, well, I don't know.
No, I'm just he's.
I mean,
the
but we
Flash.
wanted to play him as the Indian tracker
Sure.
in, you know, more episodes this year because we think that's what's cool about it.
See, he's there, and immediately he's clear over.
Oh
there.
yeah, we jumped him forward,
So
which was cool.
I think it's wonderful.
and here's Wesley being very silly and touching this blood when he really shouldn't, but we needed him to for plot reasons. So sue us. It's television. You get what you pay for.
Now this dress that Amy's wearing,
What you doing?
you know, we wanted her to wear something that would look just sort of casual, not particularly sexy when you first saw it, but something that Wes could play off later. And I think this is a really good choice for that in terms of when he's telling her that she's dressed inappropriate.
And I love Charisma and her gumption to go out and take care of this because she feels responsible.
It was a great line.
What was the line? How could I not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your line.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
good. I was hoping you'd assist me.
Oh, my voice went up too. I have to bring my voice back down.
Oh yeah, I'm speaking like this.
So, Barry White here with.
Identify his demon.
I love these scenes together with Alexis and Amy, and this little moment here where she brings him the thing before he even can ask for it, and you just really feel like there may be a little romance blossoming here. Boy, are we gonna nip that in the bud?
That was the other thing that, you know, because our shows are so connected, in addition to the standalone of a scary episode here, we are also sort of setting up, oh, look, Fred and Wesley are going to end up together, when we knew that at a certain point we were going to break Wesley's heart, which is sort of what we do on this show.
Here's Joss's brilliant shoe run coming up, which I love so. You know, these two women shooting this information back and forth about fashion in almost a Jack Webb Dragnet style, which is so great. And yet, you know, the way Joss writes it, it's just clever. It's not offensive at all. I mean, this is really, these women can connect on that level if nothing else. And I also love Cordelia's line here about, you know, I was you with better shoes.
Well, I love that on most shows, if the script was long, that would be the part of the scene that was cut. And the fact that here it's not only cut, it really sort of defines what the scene's about, and it's in a very surprising way.
Because this show came out long, did it not?
Not unusual.
Not overly?
No.
Because you are a vicious bitch.
Wasn't like some of our other episodes.
Another thing that we always wrestle with is each of our episodes has to be the exact same length, and script pages can vary from 51 pages to 57 pages. And depending on how much action there is and how much dialogue there is, we find ourselves sometimes with not enough material or way too much material. Then you have to make the hard decision of what to get rid of.
Yeah, you sort of have to feel it. You know, I mean, I can sort of tell if something's going to be long enough or if it's going to be short. Sometimes I can't tell if it's going to be over.
Yes, right before he escaped
You know.
from the cops.
Yeah, your last one was way over, right?
It was like 9 minutes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt it was going to be over. I didn't think it was going to be that much over.
So what I'm hearing you say is that it was going to be over.
It was going to be over.
Okay.
And it was.
Speaking
and then
of
I
over.
trimmed it back. I know, this is really boring
Wow.
for the listener.
Sorry, guys.
You
We're
paid
trying.
for this. I can't believe
We're
it.
trying.
We really are. Look, there's the beautiful Lila and the gorgeous Cordelia facing off. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, they haven't really met many times. This is the first time they'd met on screen.
It's the
isn't it?
first time they'd met, yeah.
You know that guy that
Although,
you
of
tried
course,
to hack into
Lila knows all about Angel's crew.
Sure, but just the dynamic the first time they meet in a room is always interesting. Let's just watch, shall we?
Let's see. Think of something interesting, quick. I have something interesting for the next scene, I think. Is the next scene the taxi scene? Cut the hell out of that.
Yeah, we did.
Thank God. But I remember, it's one of the few scenes where I can remember exactly where I was when I was writing it, because it happened to be the morning of September 11th. And I got up very early because still not done.
Yeah, we were writing.
Yeah, we wrote quite late. This script was every color of the rainbow and then some. And I remember getting a call very early that morning from a friend who said, turn on the TV. And I went and I saw what was happening. And then I had to go finish the scene because, the show must go on.
Yeah, it's true.
And also it was Jeff knows this about me. I always complain about writing. And so does he, incidentally, because it's, pain. And after that happened, I was quite grateful to be able to go back.
Yeah, it was
and do something that I loved.
Yeah, it really was.
Didn't realize that I loved.
Yeah, the script was due like the next day, and we only had about 5 days to write the thing in the first place. So,
but we kept retooling it all throughout the shoot, which was great.
Yeah,
I thought we just got to make it better and better. This was actually we shot second unit while David Grossman was shooting stuff in the nearby Condemned Ambassador Hotel, which played as the upstairs of the Hyperion.
Next season, we're hoping to use other parts of the hotel we've never seen before. End of this season, we found a pool, a big ballroom. I think it'll be interesting and fun to sort of find other areas of the hotel.
This scene, I got a call when they were shooting this scene, if you will remember. And this whole piece where he looks over and sees the couple making out on the couch, the director and our producer, Kelly Manners, were begging me to let them cut it. Because the schedule was unmakeable, they couldn't shoot all this stuff, could you please trim this back? And then I called you, and I think we probably lost, we lost a thing where a girl.
Yeah, there was a couple couplets, so we lost maybe 2/3 of a page.
Yeah, but we kept in, I felt it was really important for him to look over and make that veiled threat off this couple that he's looking at. I think we can both agree that we think Stuart Blatt is brilliant, but Jeff and I both hate this set. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like.
Well, this was supposed to be a beach house. We were supposed to have this cool beach party, and we couldn't afford to go to the beach. And there was going to be a Hollywood Hills party. We couldn't afford to go to the hills. So we actually went over to the Saved by the Bell.
That's what it looked like, Saved by the Bell.
They had a condo set that we...
That's not true.
No, it's not true.
No, we built that set, but we didn't think it was cool.
Now, this is just a really good scene, so you should just turn us off and listen to them talk because we're actually much smarter on the page than we are yammering on about this.
Yeah, this scene was... what I loved about this scene is that Amy plays all the moments that were scripted. Her slight feeling kind of uncomfortable about the weird things that he's saying, and not coming to a full realization that he's been infected yet. And of course, Alexis is just slowly letting out the creep factor, which makes it so much more effective.
It's a simple question.
And I've always wondered why there's a picture of Winston Churchill in the office.
Well, why not?
Because Angel's a big Winston Churchill fan.
Why wouldn't he be?
Out.
Winston Churchill, huge. I mean, and not just in that big fat man with a cigar way.
She said
Because that's where I thought you were going with that.
No.
Another thing that we talked about a lot, initially the act break was...
This may be the lamest commentary in the history of commentaries.
Well,
okay, so act break. You were going to give
I was going to say we initially took this clear up through Wesley slapping Fred.
Yes, that's right. Jeff and I were very, very bullish on that idea.
Yeah, and Joss said, no, it should just be right here with...
him saying something weird.
Saying, lie to me again.
We're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
He actually didn't give us the line, though.
No,
he just said he should just say something kind of creepy, and that should be the act out. And you have to understand, it's the act 2 break, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Which is where the entire story is supposed to turn. And Jeff and I, with our hackish instincts, thought it should have been, he slaps her, and it's really a great act break. But in fact, Joss, oddly, right about this.
Just a nice little nuanced sort of turn. And
it gives you a great place to go to when you come back.
So all this is much more tense than it would have been.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you Cordelia left, really.
This, to me, is just the creepiest of all.
Yeah. And
when he starts accusing her of flaunting her.
Yeah, and so there's that little outfit we talked about earlier, and it just suddenly he finds it provocative, and I love what Wesley does here with the finger right there. It's
really creepy.
It's such an affront.
And poor, Poor little Amy with her big brown eyes looking up at him like, why are you being so mean to me? It's quite effective, I think. And he's leaning in here is great, and the slight push from Mr. Grossman's camera, and the selection of shot sizes. Everything's perfect. And you're going to notice coming up here when Wesley slaps her, David Grossman short-framed Wesley's face, so that normally you would have a character's face. If the character is on the right side of the screen, his eye line would be the empty part of the screen, the direction his eyes are looking. And what he did was he gave Wesley no eye line at all, so that his face is just mashed up to the side of the frame, which makes things just feel a little bit more weird and out of whack. So that was a nice, subtle choice. And you'll see that coming up. I have very little to add.
There it is, the hit.
See, here he is. Normally, Wesley's head would be on the other side of the screen. And that's just, I think, a great place to do that.
What do you tell a woman who has 2 black eyes?
Is there a horrible joke in here?
Yeah.
You haven't already told her twice.
It's in there. And
Amy had to do a lot of these stunts, you know.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to get knocked around with pads on, but getting...
I absolutely love what Alexis does here.
And the framing here. One of the
it's
beautiful things
perfect.
about a widescreen frame is the reveal of the axe.
I mean, that's just great. You just know he's going to pull something out of there.
I'm looking for Billy.
Now, this scene was trimmed back.
You a friend of his or what?
Too much, in my opinion.
You think?
I loved, you know...
It was all great.
It was funny.
It was all great. But, you know, the information's there.
It is.
But we're coming back to the Saved by the Bell set here.
Well, one of the things that...
See, look at this. I don't think so. This is romper freaking room.
I was expecting blood, carnage, you know.
No, what I was going to say is one of the things I love about writing for this show is they're always willing to take the unexpected. So here's Angel coming in. I want to go in and I want to get in. I want to see this guy. I want to kill him. Oh, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you would think. And being in the Joss Whedon universe, I feel like you can always at least try and take that license.
And also, I love a thing that Jeff wrote here, which is when he hears that Cordelia had been there, he immediately goes back to, she thinks I'm melodramatic?
A melodramatic guy named Angel.
You know, again, just narcissistic Angel, always kind of fun. And tight with a buck.
Tight with a buck.
That you were going to kill my cousin. That's not melodrama.
Always has money for hair product, though. And dresses really well.
This was tricky because, you know, Angel had his investigative path that he was following. Cordelia had hers. And the idea being that everything needed to sort of dovetail in Act 4. Everything that's happening in the hotel comes to a head. Everything that's on that tarmac is coming to a head. So in a way, kind of easy to structure because everybody had something so specific to do, and you only had so much time to do it that you were really never really at a loss of what to write next. Can you cut all that out? Because that was really boring.
No, and as we've been cross-cutting, the one person we haven't cross-cut to is Gunn, and it's intentional in that we really kind of want you to have forgotten about him, so that when he does show up, it's a good boo. Love the way he shot this.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And here's another thing. Okay, you've got a man with an axe in a hotel chasing a woman. It's kind of hard not to think of The Shining.
Oh, you think?
And so it was a real challenge for us to not rip it off and yet acknowledge that it's out there. And Joss actually had us trim a couple things to make sure that we didn't.
Yeah, we kept moving away from the shining of it.
As much as we could.
Because, you know, if Wesley became sort of gibbering Jack Nicholson, it would have been probably not even scary. It would have just been silly.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's underplaying all of this, again, I just think makes it so effective. Also, this was all shot at the Ambassador. Or is this on the stage?
This Ambassador.
This is at the Ambassador, which we returned to for the price.
It's nothing new.
The price of...
The price, the episode, The Price.
I knew that.
Oh, okay. Right, sorry. It's a great... This place is so magical, and it may not even be there anymore. I know they're getting ready to tear it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey.
And you know, it had the Coconut Grove, and you know, all these empty rooms. It's full of ghosts. It's a really interesting place to shoot. That's primarily what happens at the Ambassador now. Is companies go to shoot there, and sometimes SWAT teams practice there on the roofs. Anti-terrorist tactical units on the roofs of the Ambassador. This is all great.
Here with the nails revealing Fred.
That was all scripted.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. So
You know,
I just don't want you to think that the director here is some kind of,
Well,
film
we're writers,
visionary.
so we're always...
The writers put this all in the script, and all he had to do was follow the instructions. And this is what happens: if you follow the instructions, you'll come out with something pretty good. Am I wrong?
Make me do this.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Wow. Love that shot.
That was an insert. Now, again, we were putting this all together right after September 11th, and our feeling was, is anyone going to believe that she can just walk out onto the tarmac of an airport with a firearm of any kind?
Well, there was even the question of whether we were going to be able to get to shoot in an airport because of what had happened. This was literally...
Yeah, they'd all shut down that week.
This had been a week, just a few days after, so...
Do I know you?
But I feel like it works. I mean, I feel like, it's clearly a small private airport where
Which it is.
rich people have their little jets.
Which it is.
It's not like she's walking onto the tarmac at LAX. And it just felt like a cool place to do it, as opposed to the bus station or, any other place that we could come up with.
Something else that we liked about this episode was the monster doesn't wear a rubber mask. The monster is human.
And, how cool is it to see her aiming a thing at a guy and saying, "I'm about to blow your head off." Some of this stuff got trimmed back a little bit. Again, we're back at the Ambassador. There's a thing coming up, I don't know if it's here, I think it's later, that I hate. But it's always been there and it'll always be there for the rest of eternity. And I will never tell you what it is.
Oh, you get this great shot coming up here, where she went to the stairs.
Yeah, that's great. And then it comes down,
Back down.
boom, close up. Nice.
Beautiful shot. That wasn't scripted. That would be the director.
Yeah, that's the director. Here's the thing that I think was scripted. The thing that I hate.
The trip?
Yes. This is so cheeseball. Oh, I fell down. And now I look back. And I felt like the trip could have worked if we had just really trimmed this up. Let her hit the ground and get right back up. But instead we milked all this, and that just felt a little cheesy horror movie. Although that's a great moment, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's worth it for that moment.
Because you're a woman, I don't.
I love it.
I love the coldness of the way this is lit.
I also like that in the previous scene you had a woman laying down, standing up into a guy, and here you had a guy laying down, standing up to the woman in the power.
Yeah, because that was planned.
For all you critical studies people out there.
Throw away careers or families or even lives.
And, here you get into a thing where, why doesn't she pull the trigger? Well, because there's a couple of lines we need to get, a little exposition we have to get out. And also the moment of, could she really shoot this guy in the head with her crossbow? And I believe she fully could have. And I believe she would have if Lila had not appeared on the scene.
Although she doesn't appear first.
Right, but Angel does.
TV's Angel.
TV's Angel.
Wrong again.
We're running out of interesting things. I mean, not that
We're
we
waiting
ever had
for-
any interesting things.
I knew that you would.
Angel, you know.
I always like this moment, too, where Billy's just goading Angel.
You can't hurt me.
No, I won't hurt her.
And, of course, we're supposed to feel that Angel's going to be infected.
Yeah.
And the big twist is that, in fact, he's not.
Oh, you just ruined it. I didn't know that.
Well, if you purchased the DVD set, chances are you saw it on TV.
I own the videos.
I do, too. I've seen this before. I love okay, and here's the other thing that I thought was so cool, is that Gunn has knowledge that no one else has. Gunn has seen what's happened to Wesley. He knows how this stuff is affecting people, so he realizes when it's happening to him, and he gets to do the cool, heroic thing of handing her a giant club and saying, "Hit me over the head." And it looks like the most painful thing we've ever shot.
Yeah. And this is the first time when we're really sort of beginning the Fred Gunn possibility of...
Yes, he saves her. I mean, you start off the episode saying, "Oh, look, Wesley has a thing for Fred. Will they end up together?" And in fact, no, what's going to happen is she's going to end up locked in a room with this other guy, and he's going to make her knock him out to save her. So, I mean,
I think everybody gets to act pretty heroically in this episode.
It was funny when we were shooting, where Wesley is there with the axe. I think that's actually at the Ambassador. This is on the stage. And the first couple hits of that axe, the axe head just broke clean off. And our prop people were running around in the middle of the night to like Builder's Emporium or something, trying to find an axe. Which is bad because you don't really want to be running around with a real axe, but I don't know if we had a choice.
I always wonder why they didn't jump out the window.
Well, because they're like several stories up.
No.
Cordelia.
Okay.
Can't.
They're at the top. They've gone up. They've gone upstairs.
Okay.
You've seen the outside of that building. You don't just jump out.
You can fight this.
Well,
Don't fight it.
I
feel
don't,
it.
but, you know.
You can.
You know, they're not TV's
All
Angel.
that rage, all that hatred bubbling.
Doesn't that suck? Wouldn't you like to be TV's Angel?
No, not really.
No?
Because
Tortured and the hair product?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind looking like that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But the hair product.
Yeah, too much to invest.
Too much time in the mirror.
Yeah.
This is happening to you because of me.
And I love the handheld quality to this. That
Yeah, it's really nice. This is just everything about the way
Nice long
Grossman shot
lenses.
this.
really beautifully shot. And this is something we do a lot, which is we're setting up, you think, oh my God, it's going to go one way. Oh my God, it's going to go one way. And then, no, it doesn't.
And I thought, you know, even though it's a little bit telegraphed, like you can sort of see this twist coming, David played it really well. And I felt like I could feel the rage building in him. And you're so happy when he starts to beat up this guy.
Now, we didn't originally have Billy manifest any more power than he had. And Joss's feeling was, look, he's going to fight a superpower vampire. You gotta amp him up a little bit. So when he smacks the ground, he sort of powers up so he can fight back.
Which makes sense to me. I mean, if he's poisoning all his victims with his rage and there's some kind of power there, basically he just turns all the venom back on himself and accesses that to fight back Angel, which is true. It's, you know, Angel not that heroic if he's just beating up a regular guy who's, you know, only comes up to his shoulders. So I felt like in this fight, he's completely, he's a formidable bad guy. This is the longest hacking of a door ever.
Well, you know, it's fireproof, solid oak.
Right.
There's the power up.
Here's the power up. You see the little cracks on the tarmac, which was a nice effect that Lonnie Perister added. More good fighting. And here was the twist that I actually really liked, which is when the shot rings out, everybody turns, and there is... I said that too soon. So the shot rings out, everybody turns, and there's... Lila, which I think is cool. And it helps me with the fact that, you know, she had one sort of quick but interesting bonding scene with Cordelia and gave her enough information to find this guy. And I can actually believe it if I feel that Lila helps Cordelia by giving her some information and then tracks Cordelia because she decides, you know what, that guy's responsible for my eye. So, I mean, she's got her own agenda, which is always good. Everybody in this episode has their own agenda, which I think makes it very interesting. Again, we're back on the set. Another very well shot scene and really, really well acted.
Would you like to hear my theory?
And not terribly written.
Not terribly written.
No.
It was a challenge here because clearly Wesley is stronger than
years of living in a cave,
Amy, and we have to figure out a way for her to be smart and beat him on her own terms.
And I also like the fact that she apologizes, basically, for what she's about to do, even after all the abuse she's taken. This is a great set. It matches perfectly that Ambassador Hotel.
Let's finish this.
Nice.
Sorry, Wesley.
Actually written that way, too.
Yes.
You're sorry?
You're
What we
sorry.
originally-
He's
what-
so good here.
Yeah, he's great. And so is she.
Oh, yeah, they're so good here.
Originally, we had an old paint can that she...
Which evidently they used in Home Alone, which
yeah.
neither Tim or I have seen.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, let's make it something else. We made it this fire extinguisher. And that's what you need. I mean, that works great.
Oh, something's wrong with the camera there. Don't pay any attention.
So now, if you watch this scene, I think it's remarkable that there's not a cut in the scene. It's a complete oneer.
But you're saying it's remarkable the actors remember that many words?
I just, you know, the fact that it's not just that they had all their dialogue to remember, but that they have all these moves that they probably learned 10 minutes before they started to shoot.
Yeah.
And Grossman always knows, you know, where to put the camera. And I think this works so much better, and it's so much more lyrical and fluid, the fact that we're not popping into close-ups or something. I think it works great.
What are two?
Even when you were evil.
I also saw some controversy about Angel's explanation for why he was not affected
Killed out of anger. It was always about that.
by the demony touch to bring up his primordial misogyny. And really, you have to look at this scene in the context of the next scene. Because in this scene, Angel is saying that Billy brought out something in humans, and he is not, in fact, human. And he, in fact, does not kill for the petty reasons or abuse for the petty reasons that humans might. But when he's Angelus, he does it because it's fun. So there's the distinction there. But my point is that Angel says it's something that was brought out in men. And what Fred will tell us in the next scene is it was not something that was in Wesley, it was something that was done to him. Which, and therein sort of, to me, lies the theme of the episode, which is man primarily not a misogynist, but a barbarian? Is it a choice that we have to make to civilize ourselves, or is there a spark of civilization that already exists in people? And it's not a question that I have an answer for.
Well, nor should there be one.
But I do think it's a question that, you're not going to see asked on, dare I say, Charmed? I mean, maybe you would on Charmed.
Actually, they did ask that question.
They did not.
Yes, a magical cat asked that question.
I'm not trashing Charmed. I don't watch Charmed. I haven't seen Charmed.
I love Wesley's set. I love just a bit of red in the accents.
I love the way this whole entire scene was shot.
Beautiful.
Well, the whole episode, actually. But, Wesley on one side of the threshold and Amy just sort of out in the light.
In red, even, while he's in the dark with everything else. It's
yeah,
just
no,
really
this is just a beautifully composed and plotted scene. Do you have anything else interesting? We're running out of interesting things to
Amy
say.
kind of bumps into the wall and she leaves.
Yes.
I love her leaving. The way we originally wrote this was
I'm sorry.
Wesley would shut the door and break down, and we would end there.
Stay on his side of the door.
We'd stay on his side of the door. And my feeling was, let's shoot both sides because we may want to have something to cut away to. And we use both. And I think it works tremendously.
How can I?
What do you mean?
And Wesley really never recovers from this
You're the boss.
throughout the season.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
You took a few days off.
It certainly, Alexis in some ways owned this season.
His character certainly.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much, anti-chatter about Alexis joining the show once Doyle left, and he came on and he was sort of this clown, tripping over his own feet, and I just think that,
Do you want to kill me?
he won over the audience very quickly, and now he's taken this character that was created
It was something that was done to you.
as a foil and a fool for Buffy into, I think, one of the more interesting characters in our universe. I certainly can relate to him. Not when he's running around with an axe chasing women in an abandoned hotel, because I would never go to an abandoned hotel, I think is my point.
See you back at the office.
Do you have something interesting? Because I can't, I'm running out of material.
Good.
Beautiful shot, 50-50, kind of a wide 2.
Here's the big bump.
Is that where she
Right
bumps?
there.
Oh, she bumps.
I love that.
That makes it realistic.
I love that.
Is this Wesley breaking down?
It is.
Do we go off of her or him? I think we go off of her, don't we?
No, we stay here.
No, we go
Oh,
here.
that's right. She listens, she hears.
See,
to
me, that's the episode. She can't reach through the door to his pain. I love that so. That's the end of the show. We go off on that door.
Thanks for listening.
Boy, really, I apologize to anyone who had to sit through that.
We tried. We really
you might want to check your DVD player and switch it over to the thing where you can actually hear the dialogue that we wrote.
Bye.
Bye. Bye now.
Grr, arg. Thank you very much.